Okay, today we are playing a game on Dorado, we are playing Reinhardt on attack and Mercy on defense, and we were in Platinum, but we were queued with somebody in their placements, so who knows what the SR is up to this game. And our current team composition is Reinhardt, Roadhog, Soldier, Genji, Junkrat, and Ana. So, this is pre-Roadhog nerf, by the way, just for the record. This is one of the last videos we have that's pre-Roadhog nerf, so this is soon it's all gonna be gone. It'll be all post-Roadhog from nerf from here on out. The very next game, I think, is on Horizon, so that one's definitely post-Roadhog nerf. However, it is on Horizon, which is the worst map in the game as far as I'm concerned. So, but for this game, our current team comp. So, it's kinda ugly. We only have one healer. It's not the end of the world, because the one healer is Ana. She is the highest output healer in the game. The problem is, though, that Dorado is mostly, for the attackers, it's mostly dealing with high ground defenders, and our team is really bad at fighting people on the high ground, because, I mean, Junkrat has to throw grenades up onto high ground, which is really hard to do. Soldier, he wants to be on the high ground, he doesn't want to be the one fighting people on the high ground. Roadhog can hook somebody off, maybe, you know, he has to get kinda lucky with that one. And Reinhardt, right? So the only person we have that's really good at fighting high ground defenders is Genji, and that's kinda it. So I would expect this team to have a lot of trouble on Dorado, just in general. I would rather if any one of our DPS was Pharah. Maybe not Genji, because I would rather if Soldier or Junkrat was Pharah. And I would rather if the other one was playing Mercy. But, you know, we gotta pick a DPS, gotta carry the team. So what if we got 6 DPS? It's okay, I'm gonna kill everyone with my sick Widowmaker skills. Let me show you. I need healing, I need healing, I need healing, I need healing. Anyway. So. Also, I would rather one of the tanks was Winston or Diva, because contesting the high ground is very important on Dorado. And that's basically it for the team comp. It's pretty unremarkable, honestly. It's just like, for Dorado specifically, I would expect this team comp to have a lot of trouble. We have a lot of trouble on Dorado. So, let's start the game. We're coming out the top side, so it doesn't really matter. There's no Symmetra cheese on the other side of the door, so it was a good day. We're joining the team chat right there. So we see they have an Orisa, because we just seen her right-click come around the corner. And we come around the corner. Also, we don't really need to have our shield up, like, during this period, because we're not actually blocking anything. Like, let's go back a little bit. There we go. There's nobody behind us right now. Now Junkrat's behind us. Now our team is actually behind us. But our shield's actually already almost broken at this point, as we can see. We gotta take it down at this point, because it's mostly broken. So we could have just put it up now, because nobody's actually been standing behind us yet. So we've just been letting it take damage for no particular reason right now. By the way, even though this is pre-Roadhog nerf, this is still when Reinhardt's hit detection is really, really fucked up. I say that like they fixed it. It's still fucked up. They just, Anyway. I just want to play Reinhardt again. It's all I know. Okay? All of the people that I played have suddenly become bad. I played Reinhardt, and I played Roadhog, and sometimes I played Zarya. With the exception of Zarya, all those heroes became bad. So now I'm just playing Mercy and Ana. It's one of the most jarring shifts ever. And it's just so depressing. How dare Blizzard expect me to adapt to the game as it changes? Let me just sit here and be complacent. I've played Reinhardt for like 3 seasons. And now, what a safe bet. What a safe bet it seemed like to be good at Reinhardt. Who would have ever guessed that we'd reach a point where Reinhardt was actually a bad hero? I'm not upset. You're upset. Alright, so back to the game. So, we're looking up at the high ground defenders right now. And we're letting our shield regenerate. Now we're putting our shield back up. Here's a Winston. So, by the way, there was a thing in the email, but we're going to address it at the end because it's going to be kind of a long point. So, here's Winston. it's hard for us to deal with the Winston because if we take our shield down to actually try and deal with the Winston, we're gonna get shredded by the people up on the high ground. We could get him in there because he's actually, oh wait, hold on, my camera's kind of messed up because we're blocking up charge. There we go. We could have gotten him in there because this is out of the way. Like, I would just try and pin this guy, and that would probably not work because Reinhardt's pin hitbox is also really messed up right now. Because, why not? You know, sometimes you swing your hammer at somebody and it goes straight through them. Sometimes you pin somebody, and they just go straight up into the air, even if you were going to pin them. Sometimes you use Earth Shatter, and it just doesn't hit anybody because there was, like, a pebble in the... I'm not salty. No, it's fine. So I would try and pin this, Winston, because he's out of the way in here, and if we can pin Winston, he's basically dead, because that's most of his HP gone. But, so here we are encountering the problem with Dorado, where there are indeed a lot of people up on the high ground. There's also a Pharah, which is making life difficult. Right, Winston's all sleepy. We've pinned Winston. Oh, his team's here to save him. God damn it. But we did get Mercy. So that's great. We are encountering the problem where there's a lot of people high up, and we can't really deal with that. And then it's Winston, which, I mean, isn't strictly a problem for Reinhardt, but it is a problem that, like, we can't really just take it down and deal with him, because we'll get shredded by, like, this and that, you know, it's awkward. So, like, just go in here and get this guy. Like, just go and get him, because this Toblerone is in here by himself. We've seen everybody else. He's in here by his lonesome, and he is a billion miles away from anybody helping him. Just, like, go in there and start smacking him. And you can, like, break the turret first if you want to, like, fire strike the turret, break that, then go get Toblerone. But, like, go get that guy, because he's not allowed to be in there, because he's by his lonesome. But instead we just sit looking at the turret, and now we gotta deal with this Winston again. Oh, and now Orissa's down here, which is actually where we want her to be, really, because then we can actually try and get some damage in on her. So, right now, pin this Orissa. Like, pin this Orissa, because... So, things are not going well over here, by the way, because, like, we can see people... Like, Roadhog just died to Toblerone, so things are going well over in that area. If we went in on the Toblerone, that wouldn't have happened, because we'd have killed the Toblerone. Though, I'm not saying this is acceptable. Like, the fact that he died to Toblerone as Roadhog is sad, so, you know... But that wouldn't have happened if we went in on the Toblerone as well. So, like, just pin this Orissa, though, because the only person here to help Orissa right now is Winston. Winston can't do that much to stop you. And she's just used her shift. Her shift is on cooldown right now. You pin her, she's basically dead. You smack her, fire strike her, she's dead. We could have... Like, this is happening now. So, we know that we would have gotten fucked because this happens regardless. But we could have killed that Orissa right there, because she was in our face, her shift was down, we could have pinned her against the wall, provided hitboxes, aligned, stars, in alignment and everything. It would have been the time. So, I would just change to D.Va at this point. I wouldn't even care about dropping this Earth Shatter, because here's the thing. When are we ever gonna get a good Earth Shatter against that team? Best case scenario, it's like we get Winston and one other person, or Orissa and one other person, because everybody else is, like, just not going to be in the same... Like, we've got Toblerone who's going to be off in God knows where, Pharah's in the sky, Mercy's going to be with the Pharah. The chances of getting a good Earth Shatter off are really low, and we need to get people off the high ground, we need to be able to fight the Pharah, because nobody else on our team is really fighting the Pharah. I mean, well, like, Soldier's probably trying, but he's not doing a good enough job of it. So I would change to D.Va at this point. Alright. To somewhat address the point in the email, yes, you should look for a new tank, and it should probably be D.Va. I think if you played Reinhardt, the best switch you can make is to D.Va, because she's basically the main tank of the game at this point, since Reinhardt's fallen so out of favor. Because, like, the alternatives are, like, Winston and Zarya, who, yeah, like, Winston can't be a main tank, he's just not strong enough. Like, he doesn't have the presence required to do that. And Zarya can, But as far as I'm concerned, D.Va's just like the best main tank right now because Reinhardt just isn't that anymore, and I think D.Va's the best switch you can make. I'm bad at D.Va, because I'm really bad at tracking, so I didn't make that adjustment, so instead I'm just playing Mercy and Ana instead, because then I don't have to do it. I don't have to do any tracking, it's great. So, that kind of addresses the point in the email, but we'll talk about that more later. We're not going to be here very long, as you can see. That's why I'm not, there's been a lot of tangent rambling right now, but it's fine, because the game itself is very short, as you can see. So, Ana's got Nano Boost built up, that's cool. We do almost have, so this is also very sad. We almost have Earth Shatter built up, but again, I wouldn't expect to be able to get a very good Earth Shatter off this game. So, I think you might as well try and pin this Winston, because, I mean, the soldier probably dead, because he's going off ahead of you, and he's taking a big chunk of damage, so he's pretty fucked right now. I would try and pin this Winston, because the Winston's going to be trying to finish off the soldier, because soldier's really low HP. It's going to be pretty easy to line it up, because he's going to be trying to chase the soldier backwards, so it's going to be basically free, just charging out of here. Again, provided hitboxes line the stars and everything. And then we just take him into this room, out of the way, or like pin him into the payload. It's not like we're gonna go super out of position for it. And then he probably dies, because we'll drop him really low. Well, okay, he might die. I don't know about probably, because, you never know, do ya? But instead, we just kinda like amble around in this area, getting fucked by the Winston, the Pharah, and the Torbjorn. That's a... Oh wait! This is post-nerf, isn't it? Because it's hero damage done. Oh, I lied to you. It must be post-nerf because they changed that at the same time, didn't they? Ho-ho. Ha-ha. So, I'm so glad that this is actually like a helpful stat now. Hero damage done. Like, I thought the damage done medal was like the least useful medal in the entire game, honestly, because it counted shields. Hero damage done is such a better statistic that I think this is actually a helpful statistic now, rather than being virtually useless. So, it's very sad that, gold hero damage, we're 2 minutes into the round, by the way. It's very sad that gold hero damage is 875. It doesn't get any better at any point during this game, by the way. But, I say we play Mercy on defense, that's kind of a lie, but, you'll see. You can probably figure it out. So, most of our team are dead right now, so we can't even come out. But for the death, because, God, just tangent upon tangent. So, I would have tried to pin the Winston. Basically, like, we don't want to, stick around in, like, the staircase over there, because it's such a narrow choke point. And their team would very much love it if we approached them through a narrow choke point, because Pharah can just shell into it, which did a lot of work, as we could see. She killed us and Soldier. Winston can just sit at the top, tasing us. Toblerone's just sitting there, like, firing into the choke point. Orissa's sitting really far back, firing into the choke point. We're basically running at them, single file line, just getting mowed down one by one. So I think you either go around the longer way, or you go up from, like, underneath if you can get your team to do it, but, like, no way. So, like, you go the long way around, or you just try and pin the Winston out of it, and then, like, rush out of the choke point as quickly as possible rather than being in it. Because instead we just kind of sit in there, not really sure what to do, and we just kind of get fucked in the staircase, really, so... So, we've got to wait for our team to respawn right now. Now we have the silver medal, so that's great. Somebody's got, like, 1,000 damage, which is not good for nearly 3 minutes into the game. But, so, also this means that the people who are picking, now that I know this is post-nerf, these people that are picking Roadhog are just making, like, the objective wrong decision, because they might as well just pick Reaper. So Zenyatta was hanging around in the choke point right there, and he didn't die because there's no justice in the universe. That's happening. Again, I would just drop this Earth Shatter. We're not gonna get to use it to any decent degree. I would have just changed to D.Va. It's not even 1,000, because now we have the gold medal again. It's not like this map, this team versus that team. There's no way Reinhardt really works out. So I would have just changed to D.Va. Or Winston as well. He does a similar role to D.Va. I just think D.Va's better than Winston in most cases. So, we Earth Shatter right here. This is not a very good one because we are low HP, but you also say, I didn't realize I was so low. Whatever, it happens. Overwatch is a fast game, it's hard to keep track of all moving parts at all times. So sometimes you're gonna do it and you're gonna be like, fuck, I didn't realize I was like 2 HP. So, we've actually managed to kill a few of them, which is fantastic news, and we get to push the payload a little bit further up. Molten Core is currently happening. We don't want anything to do with that. We're just trying to leave it behind. I would try and reposition to stand on the other side of the payload, because your shield is not gonna survive this. You want to get, like, up in this area. In this area, because you need to try and block that turret when your shield breaks. And, like, yeah, this side isn't exactly that much better, but at least it's not Fire Dwarf and turret. It's just Pharah, which I would consider an improvement over Fire Dwarf and turret, if only marginally. So now we're changing to D.Va, because we can get back there faster as D.Va. We don't... I mean, I'm sure you can figure it out. We don't push this payload very far. This is about as far as it gets. Whoa, no fun. No, just hold the defense matrix over her, like, till the end, because that happens otherwise. I know, you want to do it, just like, until she's definitely done with the barrage, just hold it over her face. So now we're out of mech. And we get shot, and we're out of mech, so we die basically immediately. It happens. If you hold it over the floor until the barrage ends, you probably stay in it for like half a second longer, so, you know. I don't think it was going to make that much difference, but a half second longer is a half second longer. So now we're going to play Mercy, and I'll be real with you, it's fucked. It's like, I say we play Mercy, but we don't really play Mercy. Our team is not standing where we want them to stand, so we have to stand too far up. And we're kind of having this discussion that we have to spawn camp them. We don't really, because they do have to get it to the archway, so we can still kind of do the standard thing of being on the high ground, but we will have to just jump down and fight them, because we have to make sure they don't get it through the archway. We don't have to actually, like, spawn camp them. We can try and fight them around the corner still, which is better than... you don't want to be in front of their gates. We could wait till they come round the corner and fight them there instead, because it doesn't really matter if they get it round the corner or not, because if they wipe us once, we lose regardless. We can wait for them to get round the corner, because then we can fight them in a more advantageous position, and we don't really lose anything, because if they wipe us once, we'll lose regardless. So, but that's basically the summation of everything that happens in this round, so we're going to just look at what it says in the email while this is running in the background. I cannot figure out how to deal with Winston as Reinhardt, both when the enemy team is running a true dive composition, or when they run a dive tanks plus mid-range DPS supports composition. In the former, everyone piles in and there's no good dividing line I can establish between my team and the enemy team. In the latter, I either try to swing at the Winston and force him back, exposing my team to the long-range DPS, or I keep my barrier up to block the mid-range DPS, and Winston gets to tase my squishies for 3. Is there something I should look to be doing, or is that a sign I should look for a different tank? So here's the thing. When the enemy team is a dive composition, to any degree, like true dive or dive with mid-range DPS, you are somewhat beholden to your team actually being, like, decent, because you can't do everything. You can't kill the Winston and the D.Va or the Zarya and their DPS and kill their supports. Like, you have to...
Oh my fuck.
There's a degree of dependence that you have to have on your team. If it's dive tanks plus mid-range DPS, usually the best thing you can do is block the DPS, because they're going to be the ones doing the DPS. My fucking hair, holy shit. Because they're going to be the ones that are doing the DPS, funnily enough. So usually blocking for them is better, unless you can, like, pin the Winston or the D.Va and just, like, get them out of the way as quickly as possible. But if the thing is, though, if it's a true dive composition, Reinhardt doesn't do that much, because your shield is effectively useless against a true dive comp, because it's like a bunch of things you can't block. Like, there's a Winston, there's a Tracer, a Pharah, a Genji. These people are just, like, gonna get around your shield. So, if it's a true dive composition, Reinhardt is just generally not very good against it. He's not terrible, but he's not, like, there are better heroes to pick than Reinhardt versus that. This is another reason that Reinhardt isn't very good right now. Part of it is that he is currently fucked. Just, like, on a raw mechanical level, like, he just doesn't actually function correctly right now. But, also, most games, like 9 out of 10 times right now, you're gonna be playing against, like, a dive comp or very close to a dive comp. The amount of Reinhardts I've seen over the last few weeks, I can probably count on, like, 2 hands, right? So, you are usually better off just not picking Reinhardt, because if it is a dive comp, you're not that good against it. And if it's like half and half, you're still not that good against it, because you are put in this awkward position where, like, Winston's tasing you, but you have to block the people far away, and you just have to hope your team kills one of them. Because if you take your shield down, the long-range people kill you, but if you don't, the Winston kills you. It's just a catch-22 situation. So you're usually still just better off picking D.Va. Because if it's true dive, D.Va can actually, like, kill these people. She can still block important things. Like, if Pharah's barraging, she can block that. She can, like, try and eat the Graviton. She can actually, like, kill people like Winston and Zarya quicker than Reinhardt can, because Reinhardt, he isn't good at killing tanks unless he can pin them. D.Va has dual automatic shotguns with unlimited ammo, so she is much better at killing other tanks than Reinhardt is, disregarding, like, him pinning them. Which obviously he can't reliably do, and it's a long cooldown, so D.Va is just naturally going to be better at fighting the tanks. If it's mid-range, you can either kill the people diving in, you can kill the Winston, you can try and help kill the D.Va, or you can go and you can try and kill the long-range DPS as well, because Reinhardt doesn't have that option open to him at all, right? Like, he can't go and deal with the mid-range DPS at all. They have to really fuck up and come to him. D.Va can go and fight them. Winston can go and fight them, you know? So, it's just like, no matter which kind of composition they come out with, Reinhardt is just worse at dealing with it than D.Va is, basically. Or to bet, like, Winston as well. Zarya can be better as well, because Zarya, she can kill people also. She's good at killing flankers, and she's good at protecting people, because, you know, the Tracer's trying to kill the Mercy, you bubble the Mercy, and now Mercy doesn't die to the Tracer, and you try and kill the Tracer. It's just like, no matter what they come at you with right now, you're probably just better off with somebody else. Also, Reaper is currently in the game again, and D.Va wrecks Reaper still. Like, you know, like, Reaper theoretically should still kill. I've yet to see a Reaper actually kill a D.Va, like, in a one-on-one. Like, maybe he breaks the mech, but then baby D.Va still kills him. And it's like, Reinhardt doesn't really deal with Reaper that well, because now Reaper, like, it used to be that Reinhardt could basically beat the Reaper to death. That can't happen anymore, because Reaper's life-stealing off of you while you're beating him, so just, like, raw math doesn't let you kill the Reaper as Reinhardt anymore. So it's basically just, like, a combination of, he's currently not functioning correctly, and the way the meta is, it's just, like, it's kind of hard to justify picking Reinhardt over any other tank, because they all deal with what you're likely to encounter better than a Reinhardt is. There's no slow grinder comps happening anymore, really. There's always some degree of dive, which just makes Reinhardt worse. And also, then when you consider the setup, because there's no Reinhardt, the enemy team is usually more spread out now. The enemy team is usually something like Pharah, Genji, Tracer, Winston, D.Va. There's not really any good Earthshatter opportunities anymore, because these attackers come at you in such spread out fashions. And, like, on the defending team, they're likely to have something similar. It's just like they're so spread out the opportunity to get like a 3 or 4 man Earth Shatter has been diminished so greatly that even his really strong ultimate is not actually that good anymore because of what you're likely to encounter again. So this has been a very long-run rambling point, but there's a lot of reasons that Reinhardt isn't very good right now, so I just want to make sure I get them all across. It's just that, like, yeah, you should basically look for another tank to play, because Reinhardt is not very good for all of the reasons outlined. Roadhog is obvious. Like, I don't think I need to go into great detail on why Roadhog is not very good right now. He doesn't kill anybody. He doesn't do what he's meant to do. He can't kill anybody anymore. He has to have his team kill them with him now. Which also makes flankers better, because now Roadhog, like, he can kill, like, Tracer sometimes, like, not even consistently, really. So it's like, because Roadhog was good at killing flankers, because he had the hard CC hook, he could kill them. He doesn't reliably kill them anymore, so now flankers have gotten better. Winston's gotten better because Roadhog doesn't just, like, one-shot him anymore, right? D.Va is also better now because Roadhog was one of the more consistent people at killing D.Va, because he just got to chunk off, like, half her HP for free. So, Roadhog is also currently fucked, and I know that you played both of these tanks. I also played both of those tanks, so believe me, I know how bad it feels. So yes, basically you should look for another tank to play. I recommend D.Va, because she's the best main tank we can play right now, basically. Failing that, you can play Zarya or Winston and just try and, like, fill in the off-tank role. Yeah, Reinhardt and Roadhog are really bad, and I know how bad it feels. So, that's, like, we haven't really talked about the game this time round, because honestly, like, not much happened in the game, right? It's basically just been to make this long, rambling point about, yeah, tanks are fucked right now. We have to revolve around dive, because that's what it mostly is. So that means we don't get to play very many things anymore. Oh, it's so sad. So yeah, there were no, like, overarching things in this game that stand out, really, other than, yeah, just play D.Va or Winston. And be kinda sad about it, like I was. I could not make the transition to playing D.Va, so now I'm a support main. It's very depressing to me. So thank you very much for watching if you did. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. And I hope you found the video helpful.